Nobody in sight. I'm sure somebody's feeding back some information. Still a very strong running action. And as we thought, Cheptegei just getting the better of the Ethiopian at Nafu. Familiarity. Just of the time.
But Lonyangata has been there throughout, and when he made his move, it was decisive.
It was, and now he's in glorious isolation, other than the entourage of bikes around him.
And in the distance, fairly soon, he will sense the rumble of the Périphérique, which is over to his right. He runs over that, buried deep beneath the road, where it is for quite a bit of the time. On the western side of Paris.
And you can see the road surface, it's just a bit of a camber on it, and it's everything just sends those muscles in your quads, in your calves, just little tingling sensations. But the women's race still very much as a group as they're going in to just over 5 kilometres to run.
Yes, Kipchumba, last year's winner. Milesi of Ethiopia, Barsosio of Kenya wearing the dark vest. Rionoripo of Kenya is also there.
Just overtaking one of their male counterparts, and the pace has certainly picked up here as well. We can see she's still hanging on. She's been at the back of that pack, going back and forth. But it looks like the trio are moving away again.
Yeah, it's just a little more than 5 kilometres to go in that women's race. Significantly shorter now in the men's. They're down to the equivalent of 2 laps of a 400-metre athletics track. Just leaving the Bois de Boulogne, there will be that gentle right-hand turn shortly. Back into the city. The rumble of the Périphérique will be in his ears very shortly. He'll run across it. The Périphérique, as the word suggests, that's the big inner city ring road in Paris.
His face is just becoming contorted. The bright sunshine, the effort, the speckled shade going as he moves through these last trees where it'll all open out onto the large roundabout at the bottom of the Avenue Foch, one of the large roads that goes up to the Arc de Triomphe. The crowd starting to get thicker along the side. There you can see Périphérique is fluid at this time of the morning, the graphic says.
And there you can see just beneath him now. That's rare. Believe me, you haven't seen traffic unless you go on the Périphérique in Paris at busy times. And Paul Lonyangata is on his way to victory. Stephen Cheptegei came in as the #1 seed, if you like, to use the tennis metaphor. But he's going to find himself behind one man who's now going into the 27th mile. And the winning time is going to be very close to 2 hours and 6 minutes. Paul Lonyangata, who's won all around the world, fastest time of 2:7:14. He's going to beat that now, I'm pretty certain of that. Came in Shanghai 2 years ago. He also won the Lisbon Marathon in Portugal. That's going back 4 years now. That was a sub-2:10 clocking. But now he's going to go up a notch in class, because this is going to be very close to 2 hours and 6. He's going to improve his lifetime best by something like a minute. And at this level, that is a fair old chunk. He's just going to miss 2 hours 6, but he's not going to be far beyond it. Here he comes. 2 hours 6 minutes and 9 seconds or thereabouts, and we reckon, Steve, that will be something like the 8th fastest time in the world this year. So it's another fine performance here in Paris, and I must say, Steve, your mathematics and your predictions pretty much spot on.
Yes, being a former athlete, you do a lot of mental agility of maths, of working out kilometres, miles, and it's a little bit easier with a bit of paper. But some great running. It's been a great race, tight race from much of the way, but it was the strength, the ambition, and the desire which was the ingredient that made the difference at the end.
So Stephen Chevergut comes through for second place. He breaks 2 hours and 7 minutes.
And that'll be, again, just in the top 12 performances so far this year. And the remnants of that lead group now along at the base of Avenue Foch.
Solomon Yago coming through in third place. It's going to be Yitayala Nafu, who at one point appeared the greatest threat to the subsequent winner, comes through in fourth. This looks rather like Abeyene Ayele coming through. This is fifth place. It is indeed Ayele.
And he looked a stronger athlete for much of the way, but what was now proving deceptive. But still, great sub-2:08 clock-ins here on a increasingly warm Paris Marathon.
Yes, the race finishing at just before 10:30 local time in Paris. And there's the champion, Paul Lonyangata. So Kipsang coming through. Top 10 finish for him, sub 2:10 clocking. Another of those athletes who was in that leading group for such a long time, but when the kicks came, cracks appeared in the armoury. 2:08.30 or thereabouts for Asbel Kipsang. Yet more good performances, sub 2:09. That's Samuel Koskai just coming through. And there's the athlete who lost a lot of ground in the closing stages, Richard Mengic.
And again, the Paris Marathon on the men's front establishing itself as one of the top marathons in depth as well as in the leading performance. So some movement here. We're down to a lead group of 2 women as the clock just goes over 2 hours 9 minutes.
Well, it's Rihanna Repo who appears to be in front there. Agnes Bar-Socio in second place. Well, the question is, what's happened to last year's winner? Meanwhile, coming through in the men's race, this is Clement Nkabutlani from Lesotho. Lesotho there. That small country in right down in the deepest of South Africa. Nishikogo, who we've seen over the years performing to such high levels, comes through. And here is the leading Frenchman, Hassan Chadi, coming through, and he's going to clock something like 2 hours 10:20 or thereabouts. Fine performance by Chadi. Good performance there. First Frenchman across the line.